Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, and atheist one, two, and the whole entire world of mankind W. I don't know how much more I can say, really, to explain who and what I am and why it matters so much. But I'll do my best again with the ability of words I have. Only cross one more positive than a negative. The 8th day in one way of the 24/7 of the here and now of all I am. To cross one more positive than a negative, right, is the only good of God of you as truth, only crossing to an absolute bigger better of you. It's the only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth to an absolute bigger better of the here and now of you, and it's the absolute bigger better here and now than all negativity. Where two or more atoms cross and bond, one more positive than negative with their circuitry, Christ-like, they make the good truth of every body of everything, not to exclude every dimension of time and space you could think of, and every shape, form, and mass of God you could think of. When you cross one more positive from the mind through the body to the world as your circuitry, that states you good as truth. It's the only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth from the mind through the body to the world, the absolute bigger better here and now than all negativity. The neutral nothing, the bad way of nothing, the evil way of nothing, the sinful way of nothing. Again, all else is the faith of you, the lies of you, the fiction of you, the bad way of you, the sinful way of you, the evil way of you that lies on all things positive and negative, that doesn't realize that those things are only negative and they need to bring them back one more positive always to state what they are, good as truth, to the absolute bigger better of them here and now. The only way you can stay or be good as truth to an absolute bigger better of you here and now. When you cross one more positive than a negative, right, from the mind through the body to the world, right, with your circuitry, you are an antibody of matter of Mother Earth. You are more positively charged as light, good as truth of your matter, right, to the absolute bigger better here and now of Mother Earth. But when you're not, you are absolutely antichrist of it, a she-he shaft on your matter, negative with negativity, right? A Shiva shaft of your matter with faith, and it's the Hindu Sindhu that you do, right? And what it states is things cross bad, evil, and sinful, and you can identify always that those things are just negative, and you need to bring them back to a more positive state of being to stay good as truth, the only way you can be here and now, to an absolute bigger better of you. And every time you take this negative energy, this Samuel energy, right, and you crisscross it to what is already more positive of you here and now, because the good truth is of you is here and now, right? You cross what is more positive here and now of you, good as truth, negative with negativity. You incarnate the spirit of Samuel, right, as a she-he shafting matter, right, from the mind through the body to the world, Antichrist, right, an alien, a lion head snake to what is good as true, faithfully, right, undefined, blinding out your mind, static, twisted, scattered, nutty and fruity, a bushwhacking tree snake on your holy being of matter. With all you see, hear, taste, touch, smell, say, and do, with all you branch out to, with all the senses of you, right? Only cross one more positive than all negativity. It's the only light, joy, warmth, good God, or truth, Holy Spirit, for everlasting peace, all will ever know or be. It's the state that all of all embodied matter is stated good to the truth of their shape, form, and mass, only crossing bigger and better than all of all negativity. And it happens to absolutely, positively state the halo of the barbello of my crown of glory of all I am to all of all God, truth, reality check, the king of all mankind, God, truth, reality check, I am. See, the barbella is a crisscross, right, of infinities, okay? And what happens is, if you're not the eighth day in the one way of the 24/7 of the here and now of all I am, always one more positive, good as the truth of your shape, form, and mass, then you are always crisscrossed as the barbella of you, right? And that crisscross is the neutral of nothing. See, Shiva was the godhead of the neutron, and Vishnu was the godhead of the proton, and Brahman was the godhead of the electron. But neutral is nothing. And see, through this arithmetic type lie, we've been taught that an atom is neutral, and a neutron is neutral. But let me explain to you, a neutron isn't neutral, and an atom isn't neutral either. If an atom isn't one more positive male, right, with energy, good as the truth of its shape, form, and mass, indestructible shape, form, and mass, right, here and now, right, then it's only female negative of it, right? It's an atom that can be split with fission and fusion, but you're not made of these atoms, you see? And it's the neutral of nothing. And every time you apply negative with negativity, right, you are a he shaft of matter, an antichrist, right, with a negative ass hellish spirit of the devil, Samuel, right? And like all things negative, it's the bigger and better of all foolish ways, crossing to one neutral nothing, just negative of them here and now. The negative of you here and now. If you are negative one too long to the reality check of what I'm stating. From the smallest speck to the biggest part of all creation of existence, right? It's only a circuit of energy, right? One more positive applied to all it embodies of matter, bigger and better than all negativity, that would not have any and all of us here and now. It's the neutral of nothing. And an atom, right, a male atom, is prescribed as a seed of the universe, because this is a more positive universe. So says the here and now of us, bigger and better than all negativity could destroy us, okay? It is a seed and an exact replica, right, of the holy universe. And if you are not stated with the atoms that make up your embodiment of matter, one more positive, holy and good as the truth of your shape, form, mass, only crossing to an absolute bigger, better of you here and now always, well, then you're faithfully applied, you're static, twisted, scattered at any time from birth to death, out of your mind, not knowing what good as truth is, stating that things cross bad, evil, and sinful, and it's all a lie on just negative things that you need to cross back one more positive to be good always, adding up as truth, bigger and better than all negativity. As the fool, thief, man, God, king, triple male, Adam and evolved of all I am. Listen to me. If Adam would have crossed Eve back one more positive than all negativity, right? When crisscrossed with all, right, as a snake on their matter, because every time you cross negative with negativity, it snakes the good truth of your matter, being more positive than negative always, right? That is the devil of it, right? That is the he shaft of it, right? And if they would have just did the more positive of it to be bigger and better good as truth, right? That's all Cain and Abel would be. That's all mankind and the world would be, because that's the absolute bigger, better standard of the here and now king, bull, thief, man, God, of all I am. Because in reality check, you can't be destroyed only crossing one more positive than all negativity. And see, Adam came to himself in the garden, Eve at his rib, at his side, right? From his rib, from his side, flesh like his flesh, flesh of his flesh, okay? Now check me out. He shafting was a Eva shaft, right? And Adam came to himself in a garden, right? Where Eve was stated to him, and he knew he was an Adamic man, never to be destroyed. And he was created good as truth, and he was fully grown and fully functional, and he knew he was more man than what was being described to him. But he couldn't get his bearings on reality because the world, right, had been he shafted by inferior freaking godheads, right? And these godheads, they came back, right, after they shafted the world, and they established it through Shiva, through the Nagas, through the blue-blooded inbred royalties around the world, right? Indoctrinating the earth with this faith so they could rule and they could control. You hear me? All the way up to the modern age. Except the one flaw of them, man, is that they were so ancestral, right? That it made creatures out of people. And not just their bodies, but their minds. And let me tell you something. It's a lot nuttier and frittier than just being ape shit crazy for matter. Like their mammies and their pappies, you see. When you breed negative with negativity and you bring these traits to people, man, and you look at schizophrenics and you look at psychopaths and you see all these old people, right? That's because through generations of them, authority figures all around them, right, has not been a shining example of just doing more positives than the negatives of them. And the good truth of those manifestations, man, all through psychology, right, through the psychology of us, is a result of that. And all of that inbreeding through the biologicalness of us, man, is the reality of these cancers, or the reality of these genetic disease, cystic fibrosis, all these old crazy diseases. And it's all a bunch of nonsense, man. You hear me? It's a power play. Look, I can't take sides, man. Listen, anytime they have a war, it's a power play. You hear me? It's money, tapping off money. It's a blue-blooded economy around the world selling us out the faith, because all of these countries, no matter where you're at, right, they state that things cross bad, evil, and sinful, and they only state it through faith. And their faiths all state the same way. They have a hierarchy, and they have the lawmen underneath them that push this government in this way on us. And if you go against it and you ain't for it, you're destroyed. But let me tell you something. Look around this world. Look at how that sun's been haloing back to me. I'm going to explain something to you. There's something more positive out here than all this negativity. You hear me? And if you don't believe that I incarnate with the good God and truth of it, well, you're too foolish to keep existing. And I'm going to keep it real with you. You won't. And I'll still be here and now, King of all mankind, God, truth, reality, creation of existence forever. And the longer you do this, man, you only disease yourself, your people, and your ways, man, to suffering, death, and a hellish existence, man. Right dead smack in the middle of a miracle called paradise, and it's a whole bunch of nonsense. You know, if you're the leadership of this world, you take care of people. You love people, man. You don't hate people no matter what. Listen, you make sure people have the basic things they need: a home, food to eat, you know, a way to sustain these things. If not, you're neglecting them. Look, I got children. My son, right? If every time he did something wrong, okay, and let me explain something to you about this 10-year-old little boy with ADHD. He does a lot of things that I don't agree with. But if every time he did those things and I disciplined him, I stuck him in a room, right, and I gave him a stiff sentence of a whole bunch of nothing, man, he'd never get out. You understand? And this is what they're doing to us, man. And they're calling us creatures, and they're calling us monsters, and we're being generationally bred by our justice system this way, man. Because they're not crossing what they call victims and crooks back one more positive always to keep us good as truth. And now there's so many of them, they don't know who the victim and who the crook is. There isn't. But in reality check, they don't know how to gauge it. You see? How can you say that somebody's a victim or a crook if they've committed an offense? You pulled them over once before, and then they were attacked later down the road. What does that establish you as? See, then they try and play you as you're nothing. Well, let me explain something to you. That shit's nothing, and it's the one nothing and the flaw of the logic of your mind. See, because every time you take a role of position and authority, and you don't step up to the absolute bigger and better, your place of it, more positive than negative, good as truth of your leadership, well, in reality check, from the clerk to the prosecutor, to the head man in charge, all the way up to where it's trickling down from the money men at the top, the president, the congresses, whoever the hell you are, whatever government you are, dude. It's absolute suicide and anarchy. It's anarchy, and it's wrong. And guess what I'm hearing now? To shut you down, like it or not, you know. Life is worth living. It's not worth dying for, ever. You understand? I state an example that I state never dies. What the hell are you people stating? Because you're not stating good as truth. Because there's only one good truth in this universe. And I sustain with that. And that's to be more positive always than a negative way of faith, foolishly blind and undefined out your static, twisted, scattered leadership of minds. And I hate to see the world revolt on you, but if you're not smart enough at this point to get at me, man, to be established with me, man, to bond out and base out anything that isn't good as truth with that, right? Well, you're just asking to be destroyed, because you're coming against the fundamental force that holds your entire beings together. And that's just a fact of God, check. From the full thief man, God, King, Adam man first evolved, the triple man of all I am. Peace.